Once again, live from Moore Gymnasium on the campus of Bethune-Cookman University here in Daytona Beach, Florida. It's time for Game 2 of our doubleheader matchup featuring the Grambling State Tigers and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Game 1 was a knockdown, drag-out thriller, with Grambling State surviving a last-second shot by Bethune-Cookman to win the game 63-62. What thrills and spills will we have in store for game number 2? My name is Michael Turillo. Henson White joins me on commentary. And the big news right out of the gate for Bethune-Cookman, no Zion Harmon for the foreseeable future, out with a broken finger on his left hand sustained during practice.
Yeah, that is a terrible miss for this Wildcats team. So the big two stories this game are going to be, and you can say them right now, Zion Harmon not being here, obviously, how does that change this Wildcats offense? Will they be able to keep up their offensive consistency? Yes, we have Deshaun Dyson. Yes, we have Jacoby Hetty. But Zion Harmon was that spark plug. And if you don't have a spark plug in your car, you are not going anywhere. So hopefully we can get some replacements and get it to work and get it going. And then the second story is, will Elijah Holsey and will this interior defense of the Wildcats hold up against a larger defender? They've had some trouble with Shannon from FAMU, who's only 6'6", but he was 300, big ones, 300 pounds. So will Jonathan Aku, 6'11", 255, will he spell trouble for our interior defense of this Wildcats team?
Grambling State just 4-11 on the season, but they have faced a murderer's row of tough non-conference opponents. Colorado, Iowa State, Troy, Dayton, Washington State, Florida, but then are some games that they lost that maybe you thought they should have been in. They lost to Southeastern Louisiana by 1. They lost to Drake by 12, and they only beat the College of Biblical Studies, which famously, right, the women's team beat by 141. They only beat them by 12. That game was close in the fourth quarter. So this Grambling team, very up and down. We don't really have a clue what we're going to get from the Tigers and head coach Dante Jackson today. Again, apologies for being a little bit late with this broadcast. The women's game did run over, so we were about 30 minutes behind schedule here for game number 2. Henson, what is your key matchup to look out for outside of the paint?
So outside of the paint, obviously, I think Jacoby Hetty and Deshaun Dyson need to have big games for this team to succeed. You've kind of lost your third head of the Hydra, so you only have two. You have your main two scorers in Dyson and Hetty, and yes, we've had really good scoring from other players. I'm talking about Reggie Ward Jr. had a really good game out against FAMU. But we're obviously going to need our guard play to keep up and keep going. And then the important thing is, who's going to replace Zion Harmon? And today it's looking like it's going to be Willoughby.
Big spot for Seneca Willoughby as we get down into intros. We'll go down to the floor for the Wildcat injuries, but I want to talk about the big weight on Seneca Willoughby's shoulders today. We all thought that it might have been Damani McIntyre, stops in the SWAC and steals, almost tops in the nation in steals. He's great defensively, but offensively could be a liability, so Coach Theus maybe said, okay, we're going to go with the untested Willoughby, just a sophomore. Maybe then we can get some spark on offense, but he's got a big shoe to step into with Zion being out.
Yeah, ironically, Zion is shorter than him with a smaller shoe size, but he is offensively very integral to this team, and it will be important for Seneca to ball out tonight to really make sure that this team does well. And we're going to likely see a lot more guards from this Wildcats team. You know, those minutes have to still be spread around. So we're going to see a lot of probably DJ Carter Hollinger as well.
Let's go down to Harold Ford to get the BCU intros. as we mentioned, right, Seneca Willoughby getting the start, the former Contra Costa College star, Northern California Freshman of the Year in the CCCAA. But now it's, Division I basketball, first start of his Division I career here for Coach Reggie Thiessen. And how much does that give you confidence as a player, that knowing that, hey, my coach has faith in me?
Yeah. You know, the Philly native, Willoughby, definitely has a little chip on his shoulder going into tonight. You know, a lot of people are going to be like, well, Zion Harmon's out. You know, we're not expecting anything from these guards anymore. Zion Harmon's gone. And, you know, having that mentality of, well, you know, I may not be Zion Harmon, but I'm obviously good in my own right. I'm good at this. I'm good at that. And it's going to be very important for him to do well, and I believe in him. He's played really well in the minutes he's played, and we will probably see some of Simon Womack, semi-automatic. We haven't called his name in a minute, but he's definitely going to get some minutes this game.
And away we go. It'll be Holsey against Aku to jump it up at center court. And we talked about guard play. Lest we forget, Deshaun Dyson ported at a career-high 30-piece against FAMU on Saturday.
An amazing performance against our, you know, bitter rivals there. And Willoughby will start the game.
6'4", the guard from Philadelphia. Hands off Reggie Ward at the nail. Ward uses the dribble, goes left, gets bumped, has to go to Holsey. And now Dyson. Correction, that's Hetty. Hetty dances, gets the screen, goes baseline, back to Dyson. He doesn't take the three, then he slips down, maintains the dribble. 5 to shoot for Dyson. He goes right, skips it. Willoughby with 1 to shoot. Oh, no good, but it's an offensive rebound for Jacoby Hetty.
What a job by Deshaun Dyson, somehow keeping control of that ball, not losing possession, not double dribbling, and being able to at least get a shot up for allowing Willoughby to get a shot up there.
Dyson back to Holsey. No call. Now a late whistle and a blocking foul. Head coach Dante Jackson of Grambling State's hands in the air, and it'll send Holsey to the line.
Yeah. Good job by Willoughby there, cutting in, getting Holsey some space there, allowing him to get that layup off. He gets fouled, late call, but he's now at the line. And this is similar to what we saw against FAMU, but without that early chirping foul that he got in that game that kind of messed up the rest of his day.
Yeah, no, Elijah Holsey, right, is someone who really needs to play with confidence as he knocks down that first free throw. From Orlando, Hargrave Military Academy and Windermere Prep prospect, not really highly recruited out of high school, went that post-grad year, and now is here at Bethune-Cookman as a sophomore. And if he develops to the level that the coaching staff thinks he could be the center of the future for the next 2 or even 3 years here for the Maroon and Gold.
And he's played well but, you know, he has a mistake in him, and those mistakes seem to really mess with his mental. And that's something he's going to have to work on.
Outside of a couple of pieces, this is a relatively young Wildcats team. Outside, here's Contavious Dozier working on Willoughby. Johnson goes past Holsey, can't finish. Wildcats strong on the glass, nice board for DJ Carter Hollinger, fresh into the game. Yeah. Holsey back to the basket. Tries to go baseline, throws it out to Willoughby. And I think Willoughby's just gonna have to be kind of an off-ball guy. Pass and drive, and Jacoby Hetty deep three, no good. Holsey just towers over everybody for the board. Willoughby drives, no look pass to Holsey, and he's fouled. Great pass by, whoa, Seneca Willoughby. Style points.
Out the gates, immediately taking that little pick and roll action, point guard to center, doing a great job of, you know, facilitating play, and that's what they really need him to do without Zion Harmon. So he's doing a great job to start out the game. Hopefully Holsey can make both of these free throws rather than going 1 for 1.
So
or 1 or 2 rather.
you think, right, Zion Harmon, oh no, the scoring. You see his big 30-point game, his 40-point game that he had last year. Really, what you miss the most is the assists, right? He leads this team in assists with 59, which is top 5 in the conference. So you've got to replace that production more so than anything else. Last year, I think you would have been worried about the scoring because they didn't have the pieces around him, Dyson, Hetty, Ward, and so on, to get the scoring done.
Yep. And Ward's back out there after, I guess, a little break
And
to start out the game.
Swapped out for DJ for about 45 seconds, and now he's back on the floor. This is Tremichael Moten up top, hands to Johnson. And then Dozier wearing the double O. Dozier tries to get past Willoughby. Good defense, but the ball ricochets in.
And one thing,
Willoughby saw the pass, Ward not paying attention, and then Ward immediately points him and says, my fault for not paying attention. That's an open bucket.
Yeah.
If Ward has his head on a swivel there.
And we've seen him dunk, so that would have probably been at least an attempt. But one thing I do want to point out defensively that I've seen, Holsley has done a great job of not getting fouling people rather.
Look out table as Burnett crashes into the scorer's bench. 3 on the way, no good.
Ooh.
Offensive rebound, but the ball caroms around to Willoughby.
Holsey switched, and then there was no big man down there, but the ball gets
Ward
the board
trying to do it all
still.
himself. Traveled. And I could see that from a mile away. He took 3 meaty steps.
2 turnover situations you could blame on Reggie Ward here to start out the game.
Even though he didn't take that turnover on the stat sheet, that first one, it really was his fault. The pass was right at him, and he just didn't turn around.
At first, I thought maybe he would thought the ball was going to somebody else, but he kind of looked and then looked where it was, and it went, oh.
3-2 Wildcats. 3 minutes in, low-scoring game here early. Moten double teamed. Aku. Back to Moten, the native of Shreveport, Louisiana. Goes baseline, steps on the baseline, Wildcat ball. Great job by Holsey to force him out of bounds.
Kept the ball moving, and the Wildcats defense kept switching, kept moving around, and did a good job of, simple defensive, possession there. This is completely different from the women's game to start it out. Much slower pace, much more possession-based play to start it out.
Dyson around the screen, step back, that'll be a long 2, off the glass, no good. And then an offensive foul on Reggie Ward as he went in for the rebound. And you can tell the referees in this game have their whistles tighter to their lips than the ones in the women's game did, at least early on.
Yeah, it's a shift, I'd say, in the refereeing department. Not like there weren't a lot of foul calls in that game. Just, it uncorked them a little bit later as Hetty ties his shoe.
Jacoby Hetty getting his shoe tied as we continue on. Moten, the Woodlawn High School product, now in his 5th year at Grambling State as a graduate student. Nice spin from Dozier, but Willoughby gets him to the baseline. He can't get a shot away. Burnett out high. Around the screen from Aku against Holsey. Into the corner it goes. Hetty jumps to it defensively. 2 seconds to shoot. Long shot and 3 free throws coming for Kentavious Dozier.
That was a good defensive possession. If it wasn't for the foul, that would have been an amazing job by the Wildcats defense. But kind of late-ish call there.
I think what the referees are saying is he didn't give him a place to land. Yeah. The defender jumped into his shooting space.
So now 3 free throws for double O's Dozier here.
From Lynette, Alabama, Kentavious Dozier. He's a junior, transfer from Garden State Community College. He was named SWAC Player of the Week after his performance in the victory, or excuse me, the losses against Dayton and Washington State.
I'm going to take a wild guess and guess that the Garden State Community College is in New Jersey.
Yep, that would be correct.
10 points on the board.
Well, 27.8 points at Garden State. That's per game, not total. one of the best JUCO scorers in the country. Contavious Dozier. And he's averaging a team-high 12.8 points for Grambling, who take a 5-3 lead after the free throws. Hulsey backs down his defender, kicks it out to Hetty. Hetty with the fancy footwork, denies the screen, hands it off to Ward. Great defense by Grambling State, and they force a turnover.
You just can't do that. Kind of lets the ball roll off of them, and then a couple of dumb turnovers to start out this game.
Wildcats 3 turnovers in the first 5 minutes. We've hit the first media timeout. SWAC conference play continues for BCU basketball Monday night for an MLK Day doubleheader. Come out and catch all the BCU hoops action Monday, January 15th, as we host Southern for a pair of critical SWAC contests. The women are set to tip things off at 5:30, with the men set to follow at 7:30. Tickets start at $15 or free with student ID. Can't make it to more? Catch all the action at youtube.com/CatEye Network. And Monday, if you're a student, is also Greek night, I've been told.
Yep. Obviously, that means more gymnasium is going to be packed to capacity. We're definitely going to see people on the staircase to the left that you don't see on camera, but there is a staircase, I promise, and just absolutely packed out. It's gonna be wild, especially against Southern, Louisiana. People love representing that state. So
Wildcats 0 for 3 from the field. All 3 of their points have been via the free throw line, and Elijah Hulsey is 3 of 4 from there, but nobody else getting to the line, nobody else hitting shots, nobody else really taking shots for the Wildcats.
Yeah. Hetty has 1, Dyson has 1, Willoughby has 1. All of them have missed. Hulsey is the only guy out there with points right now for the Wildcats, as you said. He's done a good job defensively as well. Usually started out games with a foul, defensively, and he's done a good job this game to not get that to start out the game.
Well, this is a Grambling State team that only averages 64.6 points per game offensively. That's near the bottom of the SWAC, and doesn't shoot the three-point ball well either, second to last in three-point percentage at 27.8%. They will try to pound the ball into the paint like Aku does there, but a nice tip off the rebound. Dyson flying in transition, no-look pass. Reggie Ward leaves the layup short, but a foul.
Touches the rim with the ball in his hands still, but gets the foul call there. Tries to do a little bit too much, but I think he assumed the contact was coming and just embraced it.
We saw the Wildcats' propensity to run in transition on full display against the Rattlers last Saturday, with highlight reel dunks and layups and no-look passes and one-touch passes and everything you want out of a transition offense.
They were at their peak, really, in terms, especially against good competition in FAMU, really doing a good job of passing the ball around, transition, fast break opportunities, getting steals, getting rebounds. It was a really good overall performance. There isn't really anything we could have nitpicked out of that performance for the Wildcats.
And that 12-point margin of victory was the largest in the SWAC on that day. Everybody else within 10 points. So that just goes to show you how close the SWAC is this year. Both free throws knocked down by Ward 5-all, 5 minutes in. Moten with Dyson switched on to him. Here's Jordan Smith handing off to Dozier. Dozier flies to the hoop, no good. Hulsey the rebound. He wanted a foul, nothing coming. Hetty in transition, contact, no good, but right there at the rim to finish it off is Seneca Willoughby for his first points of the day.
Doing a good job getting that offensive board, put back points, and now
Moten a 3, no good.
Just pulled up randomly there, but good job from the Wildcats to crash on that offensive board, and good job by Seneca Willoughby to get that rebound.
Oh, Dyson. He's going to go to the line for 3 free throws as he did the James Harden double step-back move.
And he loves doing that. We've seen it. We saw it against FAMU. hits that double step back, intentionally kind of flares his legs out a little bit. Even if you don't make the shot, if you can get your feet in the right spot, you're going to get that foul call.
So now we've seen both teams go to the line for 3 shots here in the early going. Dozier has all 5 points for the Tigers. Halsey has 5, and now Ward has 2, and now Willoughby also has 2 for Bethune-Cookman. And now Deshaun Dyson at the line puts his first one in. They did not credit Willoughby on that putback, interestingly enough.
Yeah. Hopefully that'll be
They
updated.
credited Reggie Ward.
Think they got their...
Yeah, that one, I think they got that one wrong. We'll see if Bryce, who's doing our stats down there, corrects it.
Got our guys
I know he does
mixed
listen, so hello down there. Dyson still at the line, knocks it down. 10-5 Wildcat lead early on. And this Grambling State team, if the Wildcats can get out and run on them and build up a decent gap, because they're not a great offensive team, we could run them out of the building. Of course, that is wishful thinking at this point of the game.
Yeah. Only 10-5, 5 minutes in. Run, basketball is a game of runs, so, nothing really certain at this moment.
Nice move by Aku, and he's clobbered by Ward, and he will go to the line. With the way the referees are calling this game, not that that wasn't a foul, but the way the referees are calling this game, we could be here a while, as there's a free throw shooting contest may break out here in Moore Gymnasium tonight.
Yeah. Immediate heavy foul calls, and we're already, 2 fouls for the Wildcats, 4 for the Tigers, and we're not even 10 minutes in.
See? They do listen to us. Seneca Willoughby has now been credited with 2 points.
You're welcome, Seneca.
This is Jonathan Aku at the line. No, correction, this is Jordan Smith at the line, the New Orleans native. Originally started his career at Coastal Carolina, and then at Northwest Florida Community College, and now the last 2 seasons at Grambling State.
We've seen a lot of that in these 2 Grambling, both men's and women's Grambling State teams. We'll see players from Shreveport, New Orleans, all over Louisiana, and then they'll go to college somewhere in the Carolinas or in Florida, then they'll come back home, basically.
And something you will see a lot in this Grambling State team is Milwaukee natives, because head coach Dante Jackson, originally from the great state of Wisconsin. Willoughby, throwing it up, but Halsey can't get the lob to go. Hands on heads for a bunch of Wildcat fans as Dozier finishes the easy bucket on the other end.
Yep. Alley-oop chance missed, and then an immediate fast break score by the Tigers. That's like the worst type of possession possible.
And if I'm Halsey, I got to throw that down. Don't go for the tip. Dyson, a head of steam, goes to the cup and lays it in.
Nice finger roll layup from Deshaun Dyson, getting up there for the little guy.
He had that massive dunk as well on Saturday. In transition, he got the lob from Harmon and just threw it down. Backdoor pass, Dozier wide open, misses the layup. DJ Carter-Hollinger into the game, gets the board. Willoughby dribble handoff. Halsey tried to split a double team with a pass, and it's picked off by Stevenson. Stevenson backdoor, and Dozier can't get it. Now both teams turning the ball over, and it's kind of picked up that little bit of a frantic pace to it that the first game had.
Yep, and Halsey goes and sits down after that attempt at a pass to break that double team. Trying to be Jokic,
yeah.
But there's a reason he is a multi-time MVP. That is a very hard pass to consistently pull off.
So now the Wildcats have a very different look on both ends of the floor. Without Halsey in the game, they're a much smaller team.
But they've matched what Grambling State has done. They took out Aku, who's their tallest player, 6'11". So they are smaller. Oh, no, he's still there. But
Hetty, a 3. Yes!
You don't need to worry about how tall people are if you're not in the paint. So that's a good shot by Hetty, getting that open space and making that 3 for the first 3 of the night for the Wildcats.
That's a kick ball off the foot of Deshaun Dyson. In the game against Florida A&M last Saturday, Deshaun Dyson was named Player of the Week for his 30-piece. But the Wildcats were fantastic from beyond the arc in that game. Aku spinning, falling away short. Offensive board, Burnett, put back and the foul.
And that is a foul. Kind of goes up, throws his arms around a little bit, Tamira does, and then just can't get any of the ball. Goes full contact there, and now the Tigers are at the line.
We've already said this could be a free throw shooting contest, and that one's missed. Wildcats put Yusuf Tamara in the game. We saw him against FAMU in limited minutes, the transfer from Northwest Kansas Tech. Heading to Dyson. 12 minutes to go in the first half. 15-11 Wildcats.
No look pass. Oh.
DJ buckles the defender and then can't hit the floater.
Tough shot to miss. He had all the space in the world, just can't make it there.
Tigers a chance to lower the gap to one possession. Dozier blows by Tamara and scores. Correction, that was Burnett. And so from a 15-11 or 15-9 lead, it's now 15-13.
The Tigers closing the gap here, even though the Wildcats have been scoring.
Dyson nowhere to pass the ball. Now Tamara comes open, but he left it on the ground.
Too much of a drop step in there. He kind of just could have put that up, but he thought about it a little too much. That's a
and then an
screen.
Offensive foul, moving screen against Lee. Nice call. As we're going to see James Henderson Jr. come in to replace Tamara after this media timeout. Nike is the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. And Henson, I want to go back to that last offensive possession for Bethune-Cookman. Tamara wide open underneath. He chooses to dribble instead of just putting it up. Is that, oh, maybe it comes with just being a sophomore and, you know, not getting many minutes, or is that just something he's going to have to know?
I mean, it's possible that, you know, he's taking his gather step, trying to get a better shot, but in that moment, you just kind of put that shot up. There's no one around you. There's no reason to really dribble there. You have all the space, you have the open opportunity, and you kind of messed it up for yourself by taking that dribble. No one, you know, no one was forcing him to do that. That's the problem I have with that. But he was in a good position. He waited, he made the defender, got off of him, off ball, did a good job there. Just got to make that finish.
Grambling State, they're only 4-11, 1-1 in SWAC play. They beat Prairie View on opening night, then lost to Texas Southern, but they were picked second place in the preseason poll because they did get to the finals of the SWAC tournament last year. Lost to Texas Southern and beat Bethune-Cookman in round one.
It's very interesting, the SWAC conference. Everyone is kind of within arm's reach of each other, especially at the start of the season. No one really knows what a team is made of. You know, you can have a really good non-conference record, but you can get into your conference and all of a sudden look really bad, or the inverse can happen. So
Wildcats up by 2, 11:04 to go first half. Michael Torello, Henson White at the broadcast table. Thank you for joining us for the second game of our doubleheader. Seneca Willoughby on the three-point line. Handoff Dyson. Dyson does the double step back, doesn't have space for the shot. No look pass, out of bounds. And the Wildcats imploring the official that it was off of Johnson.
The Grambling State bench was looking for a double dribble on that double step back, but obviously didn't get it, but they still got possession of the ball.
No Damani McIntyre sighting yet for Bethune-Cookman, someone who we thought could start in place of Zion Harmon. There's a three from the top of the key. It's good for Jordan Smith, and the Grambling State Tigers have the first lead of the game, 16-15. Seneca Willoughby gets his defender in the air, but then chooses to pass. Dyson, step back, gets his defender in the air, and is fouled. And that is, all right, so a couple of years ago, that's a James Harden special, right?
Yeah.
You know, he takes the step back, he jumps in, creates the contact, gets called for the foul.
And now the Grambling State bench gets a warning. Coach Jackson was almost in our hallway there.
But to finish my point, right, the referees in the NBA crack down on offensive players jumping in to create contact like that, and it apparently did not extend to the college level, or at least not in that situation, because Zion's going to go to the line for 3 shots here.
Yeah. And the ref is talking to one of the Grambling State players, saying, "I don't do that." So I'm assuming some chirping was going on after that. And yeah, at first I thought they were going to call it that, you know, the whistle was rather late. But, I mean, there's a reason. Okay.
Deshaun Dyson, the Chicago native, a senior. He's been all over the place at the lower levels. Shaw College, then Iowa Western, then St. Augustine, and now in his 2nd season at Bethune-Cookman.
6 personal fouls for the Grambling State Tigers. 2 on Johnson and 2 on Aku. And, you know, those are major players for this Tigers team. So missing them through foul trouble isn't necessarily something they want to see.
It forces the Tigers to go for a smaller lineup. Deshaun on Stevenson, turns the ball over. In transition, Jacoby Hetty
And one tough layup. Jacoby Hetty scaring one of our cheerleaders, kind of yelling in exuberance. Cheerleader caught off guard, goes into a defensive guard, but a good layup from Jacoby Hetty there.
Look out. That's one Jacoby Hetty coming right into your living room. Hetty 20+ against FAMU to go along with Dyson's 30.
And Coach Jackson is really frustrated with, I think, the officiating to start this game out. He's already gotten a warning.
Lots of fouls. 7 on Grambling, 4 on Bethune-Cookman. Weave action at the top of the key. It comes to Burnett. He's double teamed. Stevenson back to Burnett, jab step. Cross court pass, corner triple, bang for Mikhail Stevenson. Milwaukee Tech product, originally out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's one of the Milwaukee connections to Coach Jackson on this Grambling State team.
And that makes it, you know, when they get those open threes, they've been making them this game. So maybe we're going to have to.
Mason Dorsey, the freshman. He wears number 12 onto the floor right now for the Wildcats. Emptying the bench. Dyson, deep 3, missed it short. And then a whistle and a foul on Grambling underneath. And Coach Jackson puts his arms in the air again.
I mean, I would be extremely frustrated if I was a coach and my team was already allowing them in the bonus with around 9 minutes left to start out this first half.
So it's a 1-and-1 for James Henderson Jr. Only his 4th trip to the line on the season. Here's Damani McIntyre into the game replacing Deshaun Dyson, but you can see that the modus operandi today for Reggie Theus is put everybody in.
Yeah, maybe he saw that Grambling State women's game and was like, maybe I should do that in terms of just rotating all types of players onto the floor.
How about the confidence from BCU in James Henderson? A 1-and-1 and nobody's down there to rebound. Everybody's back defending and he hits them both.
Yeah, proves their confidence right. And Damani McIntyre is good for his one or two steals and then going back out. So watch out for him to do that.
Hetty gets blown by, skip pass, extra ball movement, back to the corner. Burnett for 3, rattles it down. 2 straight threes for Grambling State as they keep it within a 1-point game.
Good ball movement to get that open 3. He actually was open, passed it, and then was open again, so he kind of got lucky on that second chance.
Past the halfway point of this first half. BCU almost turned the ball over. It comes right back to the outside for Jacoby Hetty. Double team, jump pass into the post. Ball on the ground. Grambling's got it. It was in and out of the hands of Mason Dorsey, the freshman.
And he immediately tries to do a good job defensively there, get the ball back.
Coach Cia says, grab the ball. Wildcats only 4 of 11 from the field in this first half, but have done their damage at the free throw line. 14 of 15 from the charity stripe in the first half.
Yeah. And that kind of stat will definitely make any coach frustrated.
Here's another 3-ball. Grambling State is hot, hot, hot. 3 straight threes. They're 6 of 7. That's right, 4 of 6 from three-point land in the first half. And it's a 2-point Tigers lead. This is a team that is the second worst three-point shooting percentage in the conference, as the Wildcats respond with a 3 of their own from Jacoby Hetty.
Yeah, Jacoby Hetty answers back immediately. And as you said, they're not even coming into this game. No one would have said, oh, yeah, watch out for their three-point shooting.
Damani McIntyre, he gets the steal. Oh, he gets it blocked. And then it's a Grambling State ball. Great job by Antoine Burnett to track back and get that block after he coughed up the basketball. As we go to our third media timeout of half number 1. Make sure you are representing BCU Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on shop. Damani McIntyre, number 4 in the nation in steals, gets another one now there, and now he's just 3 steals away from tying the all-time career steals record at Bethune-Cookman at 175. He could do it tonight.
Yep. He's good for a couple more, so I wouldn't be surprised if he breaks it tonight. At first I thought you were gonna say season. I was like, oh, there's no way. But he's done a great job his whole career here at getting steals. And he's kind of made a name for himself within the SWAC for doing that. And for a while he was leading the nation. He's still up there, so.
Dozier and Burnett both have 7 points for Grambling State. Dyson and Hetty both have 8 for Bethune-Cookman, and those are the 2 guys that you're going to have to lead the line if you're the Maroon and Gold today.
They got it. I mean, how they've been playing has been good. I mean, Deshaun Dyson getting those James Harden free throws, and Jacob Hetty doing a good job getting off ball, getting open, facilitating play on that wing, as we've seen a couple times there. James Henderson from the free throw line as well. They spread the scoring out a lot. They've done a good job of doing that as well.
Nobody else has more than 3, and that's Halsey's 3 free throws he hit in the first couple of minutes. Only 4 players on the score sheet for Grambling State. Dozier and Burnett, as I mentioned, have 7. Stevenson has 6, and Smith has 5, and they're 4 out of 6 from downtown. That's 66.7% for those of you keeping score at home.
And you want to, realistically, you're not going to keep that average up. So you want to take advantage of it while you have it. And, when you have the hot hand, you want to get a lead. You want to at least put some space between you and, your opponent. But if all they can do is keep themselves within, a point or tying the game, when that average eventually hits, the mean, it's going to make it much harder for them to come back.
Tied at 25, 7:24 to go. Rifle to the baseline, then back out high. Extra pass, this is Munford. And now Moten. Moten drives, lots of contacts, he'll go to the line. Probably gonna get McIntyre for that foul, they do. That is the downside of being a Damani McIntyre. Yes, you're a great defensive player, but you're so aggressive. You do rack up a lot of fouls. Yeah,
he's good for a couple fouls a game. Usually he'll, sit down with like 4 or 5 steals and like 2 fouls. So, once again, we're hitting the averages.
Moten, the 5th-year player at Grambling State. His career average is 8.5 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.9 assists. Part of a Woodlawn High School team that is consistently one of the best in Louisiana. Makes 1 of 2 there to give Grambling a 1-point lead. And now the Tigers will look like their women's team counterparts and go with the full court press.
Doesn't exactly work. The Wildcats do a great job of breaking it. And now DJ's running point.
To the freshman Dorsey. Rifle to the back door. Dorsey couldn't get his body in transition to Steve to put it up. Here's a three from the corner at the buzzer, short from Deshaun Dyson. This is an odd lineup on the floor right now. Dyson, Hulsey, McIntyre, DJ, and an offensive foul. The 5th player on the floor is Mason Dorsey.
And Mason Dorsey, we haven't seen a lot of him to start out this season. So definitely the effects of that Zion Harmon being out for some time.
His only appearances were in the non-D1 games, Trinity College and Trinity Baptist. With the Wildcats down by 1 and a chance at an extra possession here off the offensive foul. Dorsey to Hulsey, and it goes right through his hands.
Hulsey doesn't catch it, and Dyson was open. So, like, no positive there on that offensive possession.
And the Wildcats have been good at trying to throw the ball in the post. It's just that the post players have not made the plays. All kinds of contact and one. Kentavious Dozier, coast to coast. Largest lead of the game for Grambling State. And now both teams in the bonus with 6:16 to go in the first half.
I don't think Coach Jackson can really complain anymore about the foul calling in terms of equality.
Well, I don't disagree that was a foul.
No, I don't disagree either.
Especially with how tight the referees have called this first half. Oh, went over the top of the backboard. I thought, if that goes in, good Lord. Yeah. Everything's coming up Grambling State right now as they're on a 9-2 run over the last 3 minutes.
Yeah. Number 2 for Grambling State, Munford, I don't think knows our special stadium rules and was a little confused on why the possession was called.
Dyson through the trees. Once again, Grambling frustrating with this 3-2 zone. Dyson with some fancy footwork. Driving through the lane, putting it up, no good. Dyson, offensive rebound, Hulsey. Dyson, floater, and one!
Deshaun Dyson puts up not a good shot in parentheses and air quotes, but a good shot for him. Gets the foul, goes to the line, and makes the floater there.
And great job by Hulsey, right? He's not having the best game offensively, but he did get that offensive rebound, tapped it back to Dyson, and let him go to work. And one is good. So it's a tie game at 28.
And that'll make it 7 of 7 from the line for Deshaun Dyson.
Dozier's done it all himself in the last couple of minutes. He's up to 9 points. Dyson with a game-high 10. Smith, step back, and one. Wow.
Immediate response from the Tigers.
Jordan Smith, the senior from New Orleans, averaging 8.5 points a game. There's only one player on this team averaging double figures. That's Kentavious Dozier at 12.8, but there's a couple players right around that mark. Burnett with 9, Moten 8.3, Johnson 9, and then Smith 8.5.
Makes the and one there.
3-point lead restored for Grambling State. Dorsey into the front court. He's been given the reins of the offense right now by Coach Theus.
Scared me a little bit. I thought he was about to travel, but he gets the ball out on that pivot.
Lots of baseline motion. Jump pass to the corner. Hetty floats it down to Hulsey. Backing down his defender, lost the ball.
Didn't really even have enough time to do that, so.
Turnover number 9 for Bethune-Cookman in the first half. This is mirroring that women's game where the Wildcats just could not hold on to the ball.
While playing good defense, which is the most frustrating aspect of that.
Burnett between the legs. Trying to cross up Carter Hollinger, goes off the window. No good.
Eddie's open in the corner there.
Dyson tried to drive and caught a face full of Smith. Hetty thought about a double team three from way downtown, 10 to shoot. Into the corner, here's a three. Oh, it rattles out. Hetty with the offensive board though. Dyson a triple, that's good!
Deshaun Dyson just says, all right, just give me the ball, dude. And does a great job of scoring that three there.
Dozier to the hoop, wow.
That is an extremely tough layup, and he did a great job to make that shot.
Contavious Dozier taking over, 11 points for him, 11 points for Dyson.
A tit for tat going on between the two of them.
Dyson for three again. He's got it again! And that one brings the Moore Gym crowd to their feet.
Doing a great job to start out this game. Showing why he's one of the best players in the SWAC.
Could we be looking at a repeat SWAC Player of the Week-esque performance, as that's a reach-in foul called against Mason Dorsey, as we will go to the under 5 media timeout.
Mason Dorsey went to go high-five his teammates and kind of got in the middle of a bunch of Grambling State players who was looking for handshakes.
We go to the media timeout. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram on BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU basketball, follow at BCU Hoops on Twitter and Instagram. Well, just like game one, Henson, neither team can really get away from the other, and it's a very defensive contest, except when Deshaun Dyson has the ball. He's got 17 first half points.
Yeah, Deshaun Dyson and Dozier, the two Ds, double D here, is playing out of their minds right now to start the game out. 11 points for Dozier, 17 for Dyson, and they're really carrying their respective offensive workloads, and reminiscent of the women's game in the sense that the Wildcats cannot seem to keep the ball for more than a possession or two.
Yeah,
9
turnovers, 6 turnovers for Grambling State.
4 for Elijah Holsway by himself.
Now, one thing that the Wildcats are doing well, they're out rebounding Grambling State 15-5 and 6-1 on the offensive glass. That is a trend that needs to continue.
Yeah. That'll make it very hard for the Tigers to win this game if they just simply get dominated on the boards like that. And considering a lot of their points have come off of tough shots and threes, on average, they're going to start missing those. So obviously, if you keep up the rebounding tenacity, you're going to have a situation where they're going to miss, you're going to make your shot, and then you might get a rebound, you might get an offensive board, and just make it much harder for them to stay in the game.
And a lot of that's Elijah Halsey. He's got a game-high 4 rebounds. Jacoby Hetty's got 3 rebounds, and so does DJ Carter Hollinger. But we start with a 1-and-1.
We've been at the line
for
all
Dozier.
Game to start it out.
Gets it, and we'll get a second one. That was the 11th free throw attempt for Grambling State. The Wildcats have been to the line for 16 shots in the first half. They've made 15 of them.
And mind you, some of those are 1-and-1s. So
yep. Both teams have had 3 free throws at one time or another, and they both hit them all.
Free throw shooting clinic for the Wildcats, 93% from the charity stripe.
Now Jacoby Hetty running the offense. Handoff Dyson. And now Seneca Willoughby in as the starters are back on the floor for Bethune-Cookman, with the exception of Damani McIntyre. He gets the pick and roll. Halsey with a free throw line jumper, and the 7-footer knocks it down.
I haven't seen him shoot that shot. I was a little surprised. That was real pretty. Just kind of lets it go. And, when you have those taller players, their arc is basically right at the basket, so he just kind of throws it up.
He sees Victor Wembanyama, and he says, I can do that too.
Yeah.
Double team out high. Grambling will reset with Dozier. Step back, deep three. Front iron, no good. Willoughby the board. Wildcats want to run in transition. Long pass ahead. And it almost looked like Dyson was scared of the ball. He didn't put his arms out to grab it. He just let it go by him.
I think he thought that one of the Grambling State players hit it and didn't think he would be able to catch it, so he tried to give up on it. But
I'm not sure about that one.
But
again,
still.
a good pass from Seneca Willoughby, looking for these pushes in transition, and the Wildcats players down the floor aren't ready for it.
Which has to be very frustrating when you're doing the right things and everyone, people who are watching can see it, but, the stat sheets don't say that.
Smith twisting, turning, scoring. Gives Grambling State the lead again, 37-36. Dyson, tip pass to Hulsey, long pass. McIntyre for three, no good. Good box out by Grambling State. The ball hits the floor, but it comes right back to Dozier.
Dozier almost looked like he was trying to call a timeout there for a second, but keeps possession, and now Coach Jackson is telling his team to slow it down.
And that's a backcourt violation. It didn't get across the time stripe in 10 seconds. That's one you rarely see with no pressure.
Yeah. Dozier kind of stood there after he got his board and slowed down.
Wildcats called timeout with 1:33 left. That's a wild one, Henson. I'm not sure I've seen that before, where he just kind of stood there at half court and never crossed the time stripe.
I think he was looking at the logo and probably thought he crossed somewhere, but he did not, in fact, cross. So now you lose possession of the ball, and now the Wildcats get it back.
Appreciate the over 200 of you watching on the CatEye Network on YouTube. You can catch every Bethune-Cookman home game, some away games. If we go to the tournament, we'll do radio for that as well. We got baseball and softball home and away games coming up on the CatEye Network this spring as well. So keep it right here on the CatEye Network, and also come be a part of the CatEye Network and support BCU Athletics. If you or your business is interested in partnering with us here on the CatEye Network, you can reach out to the Wildcats Athletic Communications Department at bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. That's bcusportsinfo@cookman.edu. Michael Torello, Henson White talking you through this second game of our doubleheader. The Wildcat women dropped a heartbreaker, 63-62 in the first game. The men trying to make it an even 500 on the day, but they trail Grambling State by 1, 37-36, with 1:33 to go in the first half. Seneca Willoughby runs the offense, the sophomore from Philadelphia. Here's Dyson out high, looking for the screen from Hulsey. Double move, 6 to shoot. Dyson, the floater, caroms off the back iron, no good.
Tough shot there by Dyson. It's a decent look, but he kind of just forces it a little bit too much and misses the shot.
McIntyre looked like he wanted to jump the passing lane for another steal. That allows Dozier to blow by him and score again. Dozier averaging 12 points a game, but he's already up to 13.
Sometimes, if you try to jump that passing lane and you overcommit, any good offensive player and any good dribbler of the ball is going to get by you, because your body is just going to be in a completely wrong place to stop that offensive pressure, rather.
McIntyre looked like he wanted to shoot the three. Heady, driving, flying to the cup, won't go. Wildcats cold, scoreless in the last 2 minutes, while Grambling State's hit 3 of their last 4. And timeout. Bethune-Cookman, and Coach Theus not happy.
26 seconds left, and, a 3-point deficit. It hasn't felt necessarily like the Wildcats have been losing this game.
Well, they've never been down by more than 3, but they haven't been up by more than 6 either.
It's very interesting sort of play styles. Grambling State is shooting 60% from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and 75% from the line. Meanwhile, the Wildcats are 9 of 23 from the field, 39%, 3 from 8 from 3, but get this, 15 for 16 from the free throw line.
That's what's kept them in the game, and they got to get back to trying to attack the defense like Jacoby Heady just did, try and get back to the free throw line. But really, the only bright spot on offense right now is Deshaun Dyson.
Yeah. And if you shut down Deshaun Dyson, we really don't have good scoring output. If you take, even if you just take away his two 3-point opportunities there that he got free throws on, you all of a sudden are at you have 7 less points, and now you're at a 29, looking at a 29-39 game, and that's a 10-point deficit. And that's just two possessions that slightly changed there.
Yeah, and that's why it feels like the Wildcats are kind of just trying to hang on, when in reality they're only down 3, but they could be down double figures. 2-second difference, clock to game clock, 23 seconds to go first half. Grambling State will likely hold for the final shot here.
Coach Theus is telling his players to press up and move with the Grambling State players here.
Moten way out high, 5 to shoot. It's Dozier. He twists, he turns, he can't get a shot away. Shot clock violation. So the Wildcats will have 2 seconds to try and get something off if Coach Theus wants to call another timeout. He only has 3 left for the game. I think this is smart to not burn one here.
Yeah. I don't think Dozier realized there was still shot clock left, and that's why his reaction was so, oh yeah, my bad. But rather than very like, oh, confused and looking around. But the Wildcats look to draw something up here. Damani McIntyre is on your far right of your screen, as you can see. Dyson's on your far left.
They left Dyson over for a few seconds, and I thought the referee was just going to hand Seneca the ball and they were going to give it to Dyson for an open 3, but now everybody's covered except Damani McIntyre, who's way back in his own half of the court. I'm not sure what the holdup is.
No timeout's been called. I don't know.
I think the only thing I can think of is that the referee doesn't know or wants to look and see how much time to put back on the board. They put 4/10 on, so it's now 2.6 seconds.
Which makes sense as to why they just allowed both coaches to talk to their players without using a timeout.
McIntyre.
The clock doesn't start.
Runs into a long one and misses, so the Wildcats go into the break down 3. But if not for the great free throw shooting and the heroics of Deshaun Dyson, could be a lot more. It's going to need a lot better of a team effort in half number 2, Henson.
Yeah. The team overall has not played super well, and that isn't, ironically, the entire, preface about Zion Harmon being out and how that would affect the team. The players that are replacing him haven't been doing a bad job at what they've been asked to likely do, and that is to assist, and that is to play good defense. They've done a good job of playing good defense. It's just that their post players, Elijah Holsey, Reggie Ward at times, and plenty of other players have dropped open passes and dropped balls and let balls slip through their hands open in the post. Or we have situations like Tamara earlier in the game where they do something that messes up their open opportunity.
Now coming up at the half, sorry, go ahead.
You're fine. But so they're going to have to work on that in the second half, and the Grambling State is going to want to continue what they have going, try to get Dozier the ball more, and keep getting to the line and making those 3-point opportunities.
Coming up at the half, we'll hear from Bethune-Cookman golf head coach Harry Stokes as he reviews the first half of his team's season in the fall and gets ready for spring season. That's coming up in just a few minutes. We'll take 30 seconds and be right back. This is BCU Athletics on the CatEye Network. Stay with us. Welcome back to more Gymnasium. My name is Michael Torello. Happy to have your company. And for the first time this year, we're happy to have the company of one of our halftime interviews. We are here with golf coach at Bethune-Cookman, Harry Stokes. Harry, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you guys having me, man. It's good to be back. I did it last year, and it's nice to be back in Moore Gym. So.
Heartbreaking first game. Guys are in it the second game. Hopefully they can turn it around. But let's talk some golf.
Yes, sir.
Fall season for the Wildcats. Review it. How did the players do, and what did that look like for you?
Yeah. So we've got a bit of a new look this year. We added, I think we added 3 players coming into this year, and you know, I'm still trying to figure out what the best formula for scheduling events is. So we went to some new events this year, but I think overall we performed pretty well. Our best finish, we competed in the SAS Championship at Prestonwood Country Club in North Carolina, and we finished 4th as a team. Shot the 2 best numbers that we've shot as a team since I've been the coach. So you know, it's nice to see some progress, and I have to shout out Katie Robinson. Had a great fall season. I don't think she finished lower than 22nd in any event that we had. So she's been outstanding and a great addition. So.
You mentioned Robinson. Who are some other names on the team that if the people want to follow the team going forward, who should they watch out for?
Absolutely. I think we've got Kylie and Camry Leaf, a couple of sisters who've been with me pretty much since I took over the program, who I think are both ready to play really well. Jenna Worley is a grad student. She had a really good fall, and I'm expecting a big spring from her. And then we've got a couple of young ones in Mia Marquez, a freshman, and Jordan Davis, who was with us last year, who's steadily improving. And I think, you know, I think we've got a chance to be a pretty good team here in the spring.
Well, in the fall, you were jetting all over the country, Carolinas, Toledo, everywhere in between.
Yes, sir.
Where are you off to in the spring?
So the spring, we're doing some more jetting. Our first event is Alabama State's event in Montgomery. Then we go from there. We compete at Howard's event in Gainesville, and then we go to Puerto Rico for a week. So that'll be really fun. And then we wrap it up with North Carolina A&T in Greensboro and the SWAC championship at the Refuge in Flowood, Mississippi again.
You mentioned all those different events and even out of the country in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
As a coach, how do you schedule those events? Because golf is one of those odd college sports where the schedule is not dictated to you. Like, you don't have a conference schedule like you do in basketball or baseball.
Right. So I mean, basically, in golf, you know, if you want to achieve a higher ranking, you play with higher ranked teams, right? So getting into events with better schools is really important. So when we go play Howard's event, right? Howard is a very well-known and a very successful HBCU program right now. So they'll have some pretty good teams at their event, and I'm looking forward to participating in something like that. And then I've even got, you know, looking forward to next year. I've got us in Kansas State's event. So, you know, basically I'm trying to figure the best events for us to play in that are going to up our rankings the most and expose our girls to better competition and you know what they would see if they did decide to pursue post-collegiate golf. So
if you look at the college sports landscape right now, especially with football, and you see it in basketball as well,
right?
You've kind of got players bouncing around to different schools seemingly every year. It's harder and harder to recruit. The high school ranks for a non-traditional sport like golf what is recruiting like, especially this time of year when you're trying to lock up a class for 2024?
So I'll say this, we're in a very good position where, you know, if we've got a strong group returning next year, right? And you only need 5 to compete, and we've got 8 right now. Jenna obviously is going to graduate, so I'll try to pick up 1, but there are events all over the country all the time. I went to the coaches conference in Las Vegas a couple weeks ago. The AJGA has a really good event out there for the upcoming senior class, and beyond that, I mean, there's no shortage of golf events, especially not in Florida, right? So it's just trying to identify who's a talented player, and then from there figuring out who's going to fit our culture the best, right? Who's going to come in and work the way that we want to work, who's going to get along with the team, and who's going to fit the player profile that we're looking for. So,
Harry Stokes, women's golf coach at Bethune-Cookman University, thank you so much for joining us. Follow the golf page at bcuathletics.com all spring season long to keep up with them all throughout the year. Thank you so much for joining us here on the CatEye Network.
Absolutely, Mike. Thank you so much, man. And I'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
All right, thank you. Right here, it's 39-36. Tigers over Wildcats. We'll be back for the second half after this. This is Bethune-Cookman University basketball on the CatEye Network. Welcome back to more Gymnasium as we get you set for the second half between Bethune-Cookman Wildcats and the Grambling State Tigers. The Wildcats started fast in that first quarter, but could not maintain offensive efficiency, and they find themselves down by 3 at the break. Here are your scoring totals. First, Bethune-Cookman. Deshaun Dyson has a game-high 17 on 4 of 8 shooting, 2 for 3 from beyond the arc, and a perfect 7 for 7 from the free throw line. Jacoby Hetty has 8, Elijah Holsey has 5, Reggie Ward has 2, Seneca Willoughby getting his first start of the season in place of the injured Zion Harmon has 2, and James Henderson has 2. For Grambling State, Dozier with 15, Smith with 10, Burnett with 7, Stevenson with 6, and Moten with 1. And for both teams, it's been 2 guys handling the load, or really, it's just one name for Bethune-Cookman, Deshaun Dyson.
Yeah, Deshaun Dyson's been proverbially fighting for his life offensively. The rest of his team is kind of not letting him down necessarily, but there have been some offensive struggles and strife, and he hasn't been perfect. He's 4 from 8 from the field, 7 of 7 from the free throw line. But Dozier is 15 for Grambling State, 15 points, 5 for 9, 5 for 6 from the line. So very similar stat lines. Dozier is doing a lot of his work in the paint. Meanwhile, Deshaun Dyson is 2 for 4 from 3 and 7 of 7 once again for the line.
Now, I want to read you some stats right here. The most important stat, I think. Grambling State, 59% from the floor. Bethune-Cookman only 39%, and yet it's only a 3-point game. The main reason for that, the Wildcats almost perfect from the charity stripe.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're not shooting 40%, if I round up 9 points, they're currently shooting 39.1, but it's, you know, impressive from the free throw shooting percentage and, you know, speaks to that, but they have to score more if they want to win this game. Because even if the average goes down from the field for Grambling State, they've been doing their hardest and trying their hardest to take high percentage shots, high value shots. If you look at their shot chart, a majority of their shots that are made have came inside of that circle, center circle inside the paint, and then you have a couple threes here and there, but a majority of their work's been done in the paint, which has led to them being able to shoot from outside consistently.
And for the Wildcats, they really haven't had a consistent 5 on the floor. Like we've seen, obviously, Seneca Willoughby start. We saw Mason Dorsey, the freshman, get a lot of minutes at guard. He's a tall guard. He's 6'5". We've also seen Damani McIntyre in there. Yusef Tamara has gotten 2 minutes. Damani McIntyre 7 minutes. Carter Hollinger 12 minutes. It's just been kind of in and out with no consistency for the Wildcats. And it's wild to you lose one guy and you lose so much of your identity both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, they've done a good job at replacing him. I don't even think the lack of Zion Harmon is necessarily the problem. It's just like mental errors, really, that have messed up their offensive possessions. And then we've kind of been running a center by trial throughout this first half. Jose, we had DJ at center for a little bit. We had James Henderson Jr. at center for a little bit. So just got to figure that out.
Wildcats down 3. Grambling State gets the ball to start half number 2 in the black trimmed in yellow. Wildcats in the gold trimmed in maroon with white numbers. Away we go from more gymnasium coach side court for half number 2. Wildcats trying to hang tough with the Grambling State Tigers and go to 2-0 in SWAC play. Grambling State 1-1 with a win over Prairie View A&M, an opening game that a loss on Monday to Texas Southern. Floater, no good. Rebound by Halsey. Jalen Johnson missing the first opportunity for Grambling State. Deshaun Dyson spinning against Moten. Hands back to Seneca Willoughby. Willoughby floating it up to Elijah Halsey. Cross-court pass. Dyson open in the corner. No. Tipped up. Back up a second time, a third time. And it is off of Reggie Ward and out. So the Wildcats had plenty of opportunities there, but could not make it stick.
Juggled the ball really in possession. An amazing pass from Holsway to get it to Dyson in that corner. And he misses the shot. They put it up like 3 times and still couldn't get it to go.
That'll not help the old field goal percentage for Bethune-Cookman, down to 37.5 from the floor. 3 from the corner, short. That was by Munford. And then the Wildcats almost turn it over on the outlet pass. Dyson able to corral it. Hetty, 1-on-1. Gets the and 1 to go. He just danced all over Kentavious Dozier.
He floats as you watch that back in the air for a second there, getting that foul call and making that shot. Tough layup. Now you tie the game possibly here at the line.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Is that the Muhammad Ali quote?
Yep. But we are not boxing. We're playing basketball.
We are 100% not boxing with the way that the referees have officiated this game. Not a lot of extra contact allowed as the Wildcats will get an extra possession off the missed and one. The ball came right back to Jacoby Hetty.
Not even a pillow fight with the referee.
Halsey stripped by Smith. Another wayward pass into the post.
Just a little.
Seneca Willoughby tries to give it back to Jordan Smith, but he corrals the ball.
It's a little bit too much on that pass the whole sway. He had too many people on him to fit that in there.
Baseline, hanging on the rim and falling for Antoine Burnett, the sophomore from Montgomery, Alabama. Played his freshman year at Skelton State Community College, did Burnett. Seneca Willoughby with contact from Dozier works back to the top of the key. Ward hasn't really gotten going tonight like he did against FAMU, and as I say that, he drives the lane, can't get it to go. Offensive board for Halsey. Dyson spins past one, fakes the pass, and scores with the opposite hand off glass.
Great job by Zion Harmon. Another great job by Halsey to get that ball out to him. He's done a great job to start the second half.
Floater good from Tremichael Moten. You called Dyson Harmon, so that's one penny in the jar.
I didn't even notice that.
It was a very Zion-esque move that Deshaun pulled off right there. Grambling maintaining their three-point advantage. Time for the pick and roll. And wide open underneath, Seneca Willoughby, and he gets hacked by Dozier. Good pass by Halsey.
Yeah, Halsey's done a great job passing, especially to start out this second half. And he throws with like some heat to him. He doesn't, it's not a chest pass. He's from over the head and just yamming it at his teammates, really. And they're doing a good job of catching it. Probably got yelled at during the halftime break by Coach Theus about not catching those post balls there.
I am not sure I've ever heard yam used as a verb, but we'll go with that.
I'm teaching you new things, new vocabulary. Got to catch up.
This is Willoughby at the line. And he makes them both. He's up to 5 points. 4 points, excuse me. And the Wildcats have closed the gap to 1. I think this is going to be very similar to the women's game in that neither team's going to really get a big advantage in this game, and it's going to come down to the final minute and a half, 2 minutes.
That's how it's feeling, but, certain things can change. Players can get hot.
Dozier's been deadly on those drives, but he chooses to pass it to Smith this time. With Ward on him, Smith fading away, leaving it short. Offensive rebound at the end of the shot clock. The putback won't go, but Halsey gives it right back to Moten, and he is fouled. We mentioned the good passing of Halsey. That one, not so good.
Yeah, kind of forces it. Tries to get it out too fast for that outlet pass. Doesn't really look to where he's throwing it into, and then it gets taken advantage of there. And if we're going to look at fast break points for a little bit, only 7 for the Wildcats, 2 for the Tigers, and that's not like this Wildcats team. They love playing on the break. They love forcing steals and turnovers, and it isn't like there haven't been turnovers. It's 8 total for Grambling State, but only 2 steals this game, and
yeah, one by Dyson, one by McIntyre, and usually when those steals happen is also when those fast break points happen, as Grambling stretches the lead back out to 3. Willoughby, long pass. Dyson fakes the 3, drives. Oh, he gets blocked with authority by Jordan Smith. Look out below.
He sent that back to Dyson, express package.
Moten, off glass. It's good. Largest lead of the night for Grambling State, 42-47. And the Wildcats turn it over again. Aku dives to get it.
And Halsey almost probably should have gotten called for a foul on that layup, but he gets away with it.
Moten again, this time a kick out, extra pass, no look style to the corner for 3.
And I would call a
And
timeout
the
here
air is out of this building.
if I was Coach Theus.
8-point lead just like that. And the Wildcats have turned the ball over 13 times. Willoughby, 3, short. Tip back by Halsey.
Oh
2, 3 times, still won't go. And the offensive rebound eventually comes down to Dyson. Another offensive board for the Wildcats, their 8th of the game. Got to take advantage of it. Willoughby stepped out of bounds. He was pushed, directed that way by Smith.
At the time
And
they
then
called
timeout. Wow.
that was not the best time of play for this Wildcats team. But to be fair to Willoughby, he didn't even have control of the ball when they called him out of bounds. But the rule is that if the ball's in contact with you and you're out of bounds, it's out of bounds.
Yeah.
So I assume so. Yeah. But just not a good job offensively by the Wildcats, nor really defensively. But I mean, we saw 2 multiple times second chance opportunity possessions in this second half, and neither time did the ball go in.
Don't miss a second of Wildcat basketball this season. Get your tickets to see Bethune-Cookman basketball live at Moore Gymnasium, starting at just $15. Get your tickets now at the BCU box office or online at Ticketmaster.com. The last couple of minutes have all belonged to the Graham fam. 11-6, 4 of 8 shooting from the floor, 50%. Just 2 of 7 for the Wildcats, and that drops their field goal percentage on the game to 36.7%. This is a team in the Wildcats that shoots 43% from the floor. They're not the best in the world, but still way below their season average right now.
Yeah, this is awful, for lack of a better term. You can't shoot 11 for 30, especially if the other team is shooting well, and expect to win. Really, the only thing that's been keeping them in this game is free throw shooting, where they're 17 of 19. But otherwise, that poor shooting percentage mixed in with the turnovers has led to this game, going into the Tigers' pen, really. Yeah. 8-point lead for them with ball possession.
And 8 steals on the game as well for Grambling State, just 2 for Bethune-Cookman. And this Bethune-Cookman team, a team that steals 12.9 balls a game and is tops in the SWAC in that category. They are getting served a piece of their own medicine this evening. 8 points the gap. Grambling on offense with a chance to make it more. Dozier catches in stride, reverse layup with extra style points.
And he's been doing that all game, just tough layup opportunities. And, you can't really fault the defense when a guy makes that kind of shot. There's not really much more you can do without fouling him.
Dyson back to Willoughby, short corner, Reggie Ward goes for it, blocked again. Aku, with his long arms, claws it away from the rim.
And the energy has been sucked out of Moore Gymnasium.
You can hear a pin drop in here right now.
Yeah. You can actively hear the coaches talking to their players. That's how quiet it's gotten.
Moten to his left. Baseline drive, Burnett up and under, and Burnett will go to the line.
Just been drive and kick for the past couple minutes, and the Wildcats really don't have an answer for it. The women's team was in a very similar situation points-wise, but the game was closer.
No, the women were never down by more than 5 in the whole game.
Yeah, I meant in the sense of they couldn't really handle drive and kick. They couldn't handle that, and the men's team is having a similar problem where you have these guys who are making these tough layups, and now people are open beyond the arc, and then you're overcommitting to the three-pointer, and now they just kind of drive and make tough shots, and the energy's gone, and you're not scoring. And then you have Reggie Ward getting blocked at the rim, essentially.
Dyson, Hetty, corner 3, no good. And Halsey was boxed out. Ward couldn't get there. Moten, a chance for a misery compiler. Too strong. Dyson with the board. Deshaun looking to run in transition. Finds Jacoby Hetty. Turns on a dime. Floats it up. Back iron no good. Halsey put back also no good. Another chance for Deshaun or Jacoby Hetty, also no good.
I don't know.
This is unbelievable.
I've never, this is video game. You've turned the sliders all the way down for the opposing team when you're losing kind of behavior. So many second chance offensive rebounds that just haven't gone their way. We have 15 second chance points, but still, we have 11 offensive rebounds with 15 second chance points and haven't done well. We're scoreless in the last 3 minutes. 3 minutes 41, rather.
And we've only scored 6 points in the whole second half, and we're almost halfway through it. Another corner three attempt is blocked. Aku again.
And the crowd is getting visibly frustrated with the Wildcat team as just the offensive, wow.
No look pass under the basket. Burnett, no good. Out of bounds.
Yeah.
Both coaches say it's theirs. And it's Grambling ball. We're going to see DJ Carter Hollinger check in for the Wildcats, replacing Reggie Ward. And Coach Theus just looking for anything.
Oh, he's coming in. He's replacing Wholesale.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, Coach Theus is looking for anything to go his way right now.
Been a very tough second half. Getting outscored 15-6, and you're already down 3.
Moten into the short corner, double team, splits it and lays it in.
You know, it's moments like that where you know, good offense beats good defense. So
McIntyre into the paint.
Oh.
Short. McIntyre dribbles it on the baseline, and another turnover, number 15 in the game for the Wildcats, who are scoreless over the last 5 minutes without a point.
And you have the women's game where it was very close, and you know, it's back and forth, and then you lose in heartbreaking fashion late, and then it's slowly looking like this Grambling men's game rather could be a death in a whole nother way of just offensive miscommunication and defensive just outplayed. There's not really a better word for that.
Dozier, kick back out to Stevenson.
Had him trapped, allowed him to.
And then that ball is thrown way out of bounds. And we go to the second media timeout. The Wildcats have gone an entire media timeout without a point, Ensign. It's 56-42, Grambling State on a 13-0 run. We'll see if the Wildcats can fix anything on offense coming out of the break. There is no BC without you. Show your support for Bethune-Cookman Athletics by joining the Wildcat Champions Club today. Help us build a championship culture at Bethune-Cookman. You can donate and join at Cookman.scalefunder.com. That's Cookman.scalefunder.com. And this game not out of reach for the Wildcats in any means. They got to score points.
Yeah. I mean, as you see, Grambling State's on a 13-0 run. There's nothing saying that the Wildcats can't answer back with a run of their own. There's still 10 minutes, almost 12 minutes left. But we haven't seen anything in this past 8 minutes that's saying that they will. They have not played well whatsoever out of this half. This is, I think, the worst I've seen this team play, at least at home, to start the season out.
Let's check in with the SWAC around the grounds. For women's, Florida A&M defeated Southern 59-53. Grambling State over Bethune-Cookman 63-62. Alcorn State over Alabama State 49-42, a low-scoring one there, and then Jackson State blows out Alabama A&M 70-41. Mississippi Valley State and Prairie View A&M and Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Texas Southern are still playing. And of course, men's games underway around the Southwestern Athletic Conference. We will not have final scores for those until after our game is done here, us being in Eastern Time. Everybody else except FAMU is up in Central Time.
Even though it's dark out here, which is insane.
That's January for you. Wildcats down 56-42 and haven't scored in over 5 minutes. Hetty to Deshaun Dyson. Working against his opposite number, goes baseline, draws a double team. That'll be a long 2. It still won't go. And Dozier tries to rip down the rebound, but it bounces right back to Deshaun Dyson. Goes reverse layup, no good. Third chance, and finally, the lid is taken off the basket by DJ Carter-Hollinger, but it's another 3 and 4 chance possession for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it took a while for that ball to hit the back of the net, and it wasn't at the fault of trying.
Johnson, floater, misses everything and goes out of bounds with an air ball. Deshaun Dyson, 17 points in the first half, just 2 so far in half number 2. Grambling State doing a good job of trying to shut him down. He gets the ball top of the key, tries to drive to a double team. The ball's poked away from him, but it comes right back to DJ Carter-Hollinger.
And when a team overemphasizes on one player offensively, it makes it very hard for that
5
player.
to shoot. Reggie Ward goes to the basket and scores.
Reggie Ward's been at the basket a couple times and tried to make tough layups and hasn't done well, to say the least. But that was his first made field goal this game.
Smith surveys top of the key. Now Stevenson. Smith pulls up, long 2. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, and it's an and 1 as well. A circus shot from Jordan Smith. Everything going down for Grambling State right now. They're shooting 55% from the floor.
55% from the floor, 50% from 3, and 81% from the free throw line. While getting out-rebounded.
This is a Grambling State team that averages 64.6 points per game. They're almost there with 10 minutes to go.
Mind you, this Grambling State team is getting out-rebounded almost by double to 14 to 27. But if you don't do anything with those rebounds, it doesn't really matter. Especially considering we've seen multiple possessions where the Wildcats will get like 2 to 3 extra rebounds and still not doing anything with it.
Dyson fakes the pass, floats it up. Another missed layup, but it's given right back to Deshaun Dyson. He takes a 3, airballs it. And then, Stevenson stepped out of bounds, but it's still Grambling State ball. No, it's Wildcat ball. The referee pointed the wrong way.
That's the look you want for Dyson. And,
yeah, just nothing falling right now for Bethune-Cookman. Even at the rim,
the entire viewing audience in Moore Gymnasium looked away.
And that's a foul as Terrence Lewis bumps down Reggie Ward.
As the Moore Gymnasium audience, after that Dyson shot, all looked away in disappointment, covering their faces in a tad bit of shame. But he's done well, but since that first half, hasn't been playing at his best.
It looks like someone who's just trying to find the magic that he had about 20 minutes ago. DJ, back iron, no good. Saved. Moten. Out of bounds. Grambling State ball. I'm not sure about that one. It looked like Moten was the one that stepped out of bounds with the basketball.
I think they're saying that Reggie Ward hit it mid-air, and then that's why that's the only real reason, unless they don't think Morton had control or something of that nature. But yeah, hasn't been a great second half, but we have some positive. They haven't played defense poorly. They've just been a lot of circus shots, a lot of tough layups from Grambling State, and you got to commend that offensively.
Stevenson. Kick out. Jordan Smith back to Burnett. Open look at the back door.
I mean, that was a well-worked possession. He played a little iso ball, drew help defense.
Ward underneath through a double team. He's fouled. And this is where the Wildcats may have an edge if they try and get back in this game. If they can go to the foul line where they've been excellent.
3 for 13 from beyond the arc. So let's not, similar thing with the women where they could not hit a 3 to save their lives. Maybe let's not do that. Let's shift it over, try to get more in the paint and the net. Oh, ref has some bounces.
Yeah, Reggie Ward at the line, the Chicago native. Riverside City College transfer. Chose BCU over offers from Simpson College and Chicago State Stanislaus.
And Damani McIntyre trying to get the board, trying to take the ball rather, from the 6'11" Aku. A bit of a funny sight.
13 points the gap, and it's all been Grambling State in this second half so far. Wildcats shooting just 30% from the floor from the game. With a head of steam, Mikhail Stevenson, that was impressive.
That is, I think, the most interesting part about this game is that it's been a lot of drive and kick, but the drives have been excellent. It's not as if, like, the Wildcat defenders are just giving up on the plays. They're just making tough shots, and you can't, other than fouling them, you can't stop them from making that tough shot.
Reggie Ward, baseline drive, but he says, the referee says he got pushed out of bounds.
That's foul.
We'll take it. Aku picks up the foul. That's his third. The Wildcats will have 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Aku has no points but 5 boards and 2 blocks, and now is getting substituted out for after that third foul, or second foul, rather.
Yep. Malik Lamine comes in for his first appearance of the game for Grambling State. Ward tries to go downhill, and one for Reggie Ward. And he's trying to he's been trying to attack the basket for the last couple of minutes, and that was the first clean look he's gotten.
Yeah. He's been attacking the basket all game and has just been getting collapsed on for most of it. Now he has a chance to cut the lead to 12. Mind you, when we went to the break, it was only a 3-point gap. And for most of it, the Wildcats were in the lead in that first half.
SWAC conference play continues for BCU basketball Monday night for an MLK Day doubleheader. Come out and catch the BCU Hoops action Monday, January 15th as we take on Southern for a pair of critical SWAC contests. The women are set to tip things off at 5:30 with the men following at 7:30. Tickets start at just $15 or free with a student ID. Can't make it some more? Catch all the action live on youtube.com/CatEye Network. And coming up after that game on Monday, the Wildcats will go on the road for the first time in conference play. They'll go at Mississippi Valley State on the 20th, that's a Saturday, and then at Arkansas Pine Bluff to match up with one Joe French, who used to wear the maroon and gold down here on Monday, the 22nd. Grambling State goes home for a 3-game homestand. They'll play Southern, Mississippi Valley State, and Arkansas Pine Bluff as well on the 20th, 27th, and 29th.
They do a little Florida tour going to, coming down here to Daytona Beach, then on the way back going to Tallahassee for a game on MLK Day at 7:30.
Well, that's the whole schedule, right? You play, all of your home games are played in pairs on Saturday and Monday, and you go to the same schools on every pairing. So BCU and FAMU are paired. Arkansas, or Alabama A&M and Alabama State are paired. Arkansas Pine Bluff and Mississippi Valley are paired. So you go to, it's very, to me, a sensible way of doing a conference schedule.
Very logical, you know, don't have insane budgets to spend on plane flights and all that kind of stuff. So it makes sense to go, hey, if you're going to be in the area, go to the school in the area.
Reggie Ward misses the and one, so it's still a 13-point game with 7:58 to go.
Not an insurmountable lead, but once again, we just haven't seen it from the Wildcat offense. And they haven't been able to stop them on defense.
Yep.
So
17 for Dozier, 16 for Burnett, 12 for Smith. 3 Tigers in double figures. Lamine almost had the ball ripped away from him. Now Moten with McIntyre switched on to him. Gets McIntyre in the air. Can't hit the floater. Rebound by Ward. Hetty in transition, open underneath is DJ Carter Hollinger. Good passing by the Wildcats.
Well-worked possession, little bit of fast break action. Just what they kind of need to do to come back in the game.
Wildcats try the full court press.
Oh.
Moten, double dribble. And it's Wildcat ball. You can see the whole Wildcat bench stood up and screamed for a travel, but they didn't get the travel, but they didn't get the double dribble.
They did. They got up for a turnover. That's all they didn't care what they called as long as it was they got the ball at that possession. As Doiser comes back in, but the energy is kind of coming back in Moore Gymnasium. A 3 here would be amazing for their chances to come back into this game.
But they have been really aggressively closing out to Dyson every time he catches the ball beyond the three-point line. Hetty, ISO play, just pulls up and hits it.
And now the full court press, something we saw the Bethune-Cookman women's team struggle with, being pulled out against the Grambling State men's team.
Moten turns down the Jets and gets fouled by Dyson. He was gonna cough up the ball, but the whistle bails out Grambling State.
The coaches on the sideline for the Wildcats are telling them that's what we want, just don't foul there. That's good job, don't foul.
Wildcats on a little 6-0 run over the last minute and a half, but you gotta continue to play well defensively. Smith driving left, tripped up, foul called. And that'll put, I know it will not put the Tigers in the bonus. DJ picks up the foul. Interesting that we haven't seen Elijah Hulsey in the game for most of this second half.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. It's not like he was playing poorly, he, made a mistake or two, but everybody on the court for the Wildcats has made a mistake or two at this point. So, very interesting to me.
Grambling State trying to keep Bethune-Cookman at arm's reach. There's 6.5 to go. Smith almost got stripped, got it to Moten. For Michael Moten, the career Grambling State Tiger, 5 seasons for Grambling. Moten hesitates, drives. Oh, come on, that's an up and down. That has to be an up and down. And he lays it in.
He got, 5 on his back, 5 years at Grambling State.
I don't understand that one. Dyson gets by 1, fakes the pass.
And he shoots it
over the backboard. And it'll be Grambling State ball. Wildcats imploring the referee that it was tipped. And the referees are going to talk about it. We'll see if they want to go review this. Now all the referees are going to get in conversation with this one. And it's Grambling State ball. Wildcats will keep their full court pressure on. Dozier moseys on into the front court, originally from Lynette, Alabama. Moten drives, loses the ball. Wildcats odd man rush. McIntyre wanted the step back 3, but the pass wasn't clean. Ward skips through the lane and lays it in.
Finally taking advantage of one of those drives. Damani McIntyre gets tackled, I guess, by Aku.
Smith just throws it up, no whistle, Wildcat ball. Reggie Ward back the other way, kicks it to the corner. Dyson not open for 3. Dyson drives, floater good.
And all of a sudden,
timeout, Bethune-Cookman.
It's a 7-point game.
Wildcats 4 of their last 5 from the field, and here's the offense that we missed it so much for the majority of this second half.
Starts off of a forced turnover, finally taking advantage of the fact that the Grambling State players will drive and they are not looking to pass at all. They are looking to shoot from those positions, so stripping that ball is entirely possible, especially without fouling. goes on a fast break opportunity. Takes a little bit longer for that fast break opportunity to manifest itself with a good shot, then another opportunity, and now we're at a 7-point game.
And what I've loved about the Wildcats on this little run is they've committed to attack the basket. Mostly it's been Reggie Ward, but Hetty's been getting into it. Dyson's been getting into it. They've stopped just stopping, popping for three and attack the closeout and get to the rim.
Yep, you're 3 from 13 from out there. It's not been shooting, not going in. So start taking those paint shots that you're going to get offered. Start getting more of these players into foul trouble. They're already at 16 fouls as a team.
Make sure you are representing Bethune-Cookman University Athletics to the fullest. Buy the latest BCU gear online at the Bethune-Cookman online store. Go to bcuathletics.com and click on Shop to find the newest BCU clothing and apparel. That's bcuathletics.com and click on Shop. And Nike, the official outfitter of the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. Gear up on the newest BCU Nike gear at nike.com/Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. The maroon and gold with the momentum right now. Michael Turillo, Henson White with you at the commentary table. And we thought this might be a sleeper towards the back end of the game, but here come the Wildcats.
Yeah. They've hit their stride a little bit late in the race, but there's still 5 minutes left. That's ample time to get back into this game.
And they will continue to put pressure on with Jacoby Hetty guarding Antoine Burnett on the inbounds pass. They do get the ball in. It comes right back to Burnett. Wildcats think he was out of bounds. Burnett got to get it across the time stripe. He does to Dozier with 1 second to spare before a backcourt violation.
Does a good job of getting that outlet pass to Dozier. Now they're going to take the time off the clock. Another drive.
Moten blocked.
And
it goes off of Moten and out. Wildcat ball. Great job by Reggie Ward to stay vertical and block that layup.
They just, eventually you got to realize, well, they're just driving and they're not even, they've gotten rid of the kicking aspect of the drive and kick. They're just driving. And you're going to start crashing down on that, especially as they seem to get more lackadaisical as the half has continued.
Ward with some space takes the contact block by Aku. Aku almost threw it into his own net, and it comes back to Burnett.
Off of the underside of the rim for Aku.
Moten stares down to Sean Dyson. Aku tries to get open in front of it. Now Dozier, 5 to shoot. He drives, skips once, skips twice. Oh, that's a ridiculous finish.
And he's been doing that all night. And that's what, yeah. That's all I can say to that is, yeah, that was an impressive shot. And they're going to look to run a play here with around 4 minutes left. High pass to Hetty.
In the corner, back to Dyson. Little hesitation. Hetty at the nail against Aku. Pulls back, step back, front iron, no good. And the Wildcats' offensive prowess have abandoned them. The run is officially over. Now they're going to have to reach in the back pocket and find something in the last 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, and in moments like that, I bet you Coach Thea switches. He had Chanel McDonald, who's, super consistent from that range. Not as if Hetty isn't, but, they've just been having.
Dozier, open paint, block, no, foul. I thought that Damani McIntyre got a clean hand in there, but he did not.
So did I. He kind of I think he hits the ball first, and then he just goes into his hand.
Final media timeouts. Stay up to date with everything Bethune-Cookman Athletics by checking out the Wildcats on social media. Give BCU Athletics a like on Facebook and follow the Wildcats on Twitter and Instagram at BCU_athletics. For the latest on BCU basketball, follow at BCU Hoops on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, man, this has been an interesting second half for the Wildcats and the Tigers. The Tigers have done a great job kind of taking off a little bit from their women's counterpart earlier in the night. doing a good job defensively, stifling the Wildcats, opening themselves up to more offensive opportunities. They've been amazing in the paint. I wish we had a difficult layups stat because that's all they've been doing. Doizier's been doing great down low. Burnett's been doing great down low. Moten's been doing great down low. It's frustrating as if you're a Wildcat, because it's not as if the defense has been bad. It's just been excellent offense.
We have a final score for the last two women's SWAC games. Mississippi Valley State beats Prairie View 69-53, and UAPB beats Texas Southern. No, correction. Prairie View, beats Mississippi Valley State 69-53, and Texas Southern beats UAPB 85-80. An upset as the Golden Lions go down. It's going to be a crazy year of SWAC basketball.
Yeah, SWAC basketball is going to get real interesting, especially as we careen into February, and late January, early February is really going to be where we'll know pretty much what certain teams are going to look like. And if this is what the Wildcats look like without Zion Harmon, they're going to have some trouble later in this season.
And really, I think the race for the playoff seeding and playoff positioning is going to come down to the final week of the season like it usually does. Dozier gets the first one to roll, gets the basketball gods kiss off the rim.
Yeah. And if that's the case, they're going to have to, knock on, proverbially not knocking on wood. If they can come back late in this game down 11, they're going to have to figure out how to beat this team. They play them March 4th at the the tail end of the season, then play FAM away in Tallahassee as the last game before the conference tournament would start.
Hetty double teamed. Ward, short corner. Dyson attacks the closeout and doesn't get the floater to go, but it comes right back to Deshaun. He puts it up. It's no good. It's another block by Aku.
Deshaun Dyson got very single-minded on putting that ball up himself. Hetty is there open behind him on the wing for three, and he just puts the shot up anyway.
4 blocks in the game for Jonathan Aku, originally from Kaduna, Nigeria. And now Dozier's going to get a 1-and-1 as Damani McIntyre picks up a foul.
Picks up the foul and ends up on the floor. That's kind of the worst defensive possession you can really have. And he's been really good this season on ball.
Yeah.
But
Jonathan Aku is actually a fascinating story. It moved from Nigeria to McKinney, Texas in 2017. And immediately was the number 16 ranked high school player in Texas. Was recruited by Texas A&M, spent his first 2 years there, then to Stephen F. Austin, a mid-major program in Texas, and then last year and this year at Grambling State. And is playing a major role on the team this year. Best field goal percentage on the team, top rebounder on the team, and of course top blocker on the team. He's got 4 today to move to 15 blocks on the season.
Very interesting that he immediately, they probably were like, where's this 6'11" kid come from? And immediately rockets up to, 16th ranked prospect in the state of Texas, who, has a ton of very good basketball players come out of that state. Damani McIntyre now is at 4 personal fouls after that little incident. 0 points, 2 steals for him, though, so he got a steal quota.
Yeah, he is 2 steals away now from tying the Bethune-Cookman career steals record at 175, but with 4 fouls, I don't know if it's likely he'll get that tonight. We might have to wait till Monday. Dante Jackson looks like he's about to steer his team to a win, the native of Milwaukee. He played at an HBCU at Central State back when they were an NAIA level program. Then he was their head coach. He also coached at Stillman College before coming to Grambling State. He's now in his 7th year at Grambling.
Doing a good job with this Grambling State program. Consistently a very good team for the past couple of years, outside of, a little blip in 2021.
Last year, 24-9, 15-3 in conference. Was the top seed going into the tournament, lost in the finals to Texas Southern.
And part of the reason this lead has gotten so big for the Tigers is that they've caught up in that free throw category. 17 of 21 now to the Wildcats, 18 of 22. And that was the main thing keeping this game close.
McIntyre pulls up for three, and he hits it. Dozier just looked the wrong way, and McIntyre says, thank you so much, I'll have that.
Devontae McIntyre has a funny jump shot. He kind of looks like he's lagging a little bit while he releases the ball.
10-point
game.
game.
They beat the trap there.
2 minutes left, 70-60.
And now, if you're a Wildcat, you want this team to press hard for this next 2 minutes. You can't let them score. You can't let them hold this ball for as long as they want, or else you're not going to get enough possessions to win this game.
Moten, way out high, heels on the BCU logo, now drives, floats it up, blocked from the back end by McIntyre. Deshaun Dyson behind the back dribble. And then he has his pass swiped away by Dozier, intended for Hetty.
Tries to do a cute no-look pass, and it doesn't really work because there's only really one guy in the way that you're pointing. So it ends up being a turnover for Grambling State, for the Tigers, rather. And now, with a minute 20 and 10 points, unless we have a Ray Allen-esque performance from somebody on this Wildcats team, this game is probably over.
15 turnovers for the Wildcats in the ball game. They average 15 a game, so right on the average for Bethune-Cookman, but they've come at bad times. It's been poor passes for a lot of them. And now we're going to get a reach-in foul that will send Burnett to the line off Reggie Ward.
Yeah. Reggie Ward's just trying to get a steal, trying to make something happen there, reaches in, gets the foul call, and, you know, bad time to be a Wildcat fan today.
Yeah, not the best day to be a Wildcat fan. The women lost 63-62 in heartbreaking fashion. And the men, looks like they're also going to fall, and Grambling State's going to get out of Moore Gymnasium with 2 wins on the afternoon. And the Wildcats just have to look ahead to Southern. And that's the good thing about Saturday in this league is you got another game in 48 hours. You just got to pick yourself back up and go back at it.
And now we're going to see an attempt.
Hetty blocked again, but it comes straight back to DJ. And now long pass ahead for Bennett, and they'll just run down the clock. Under a minute to go, 10-point game. Reverse layup, good.
And that has been the story of the game. Even in a moment where you think that the Tigers might slow down.
Another turnover.
And that's a steal there.
Ward can't handle it. Timeout, Grambling State. 45 seconds left. Other games today on the men's side. Southern at Florida A&M, Grambling State at Bethune-Cookman, Alcorn State at Alabama State, Jackson State at Alabama A&M, Mississippi Valley at Prairie View A&M, Arkansas Pine Bluff at Texas Southern. And those games should be nearing completion, or at least kind of towards the halftime interval there. But here it's 74-62 with 45 seconds left in this one. And really, the Wildcats only went away for about 5 minutes at the start of the second half, and that was all that was needed for Grambling State to seize the initiative.
You know, they got on a run, and then the Wildcats never really had one of their own in this second half. They've gone, 6-point, 7-point bursts, and if the game was closer, that would work. But once you get down by double digits, if you don't have a double-digit run of your own, you're not going to come back.
The Wildcats were down by as much as 15. They cut the lead to as little as 6, but could not get any closer, as Grambling State has done a very good job, a very workmanlike job of keeping them at arm's length over the past 10 minutes or so.
Yep, and as though we may say, the Wildcats have not shot well and this and that, that is not to belittle the Grambling State Tigers. They've done a great job defensively. They've done a great job offensively. making those tough layups consistently throughout this game. They've gotten away from the three. They've been 5 for 10 from the beyond the arc for much, if not all, of the second half, and have made almost all of their points from the free throw line and in the paint. Tough layups, tough shots, well-worked possessions. Very good offensive performance out of the Tigers.
And this is a big confidence booster for Grambling State, right? You get beat up with a really tough non-conference schedule. I'm talking teams like Iowa State and Colorado and Florida and Washington State. Sam Houston also in there. And then to go 1-1 in your first SWAC weekend, drop a game that maybe you thought you should have had to Texas Southern, lost it by 2 in a rematch of the SWAC title game from last year. And to come in here today and put on a performance like this, especially in the second half, in a hostile environment, only had a 3-point lead at the break, but they did enough in the second half to get away with the win.
Yeah, they kind of even as they let off the gas, so to speak, they still kept them at at a distance. It never really felt, even in the moment, as a foul is called there on Hetty, sending a Grambling State player to the line with 41 seconds left. Even in the moments where it was only 6-point lead, the energy still wasn't back in the Wildcats' corner. That timeout was called, and then the Grambling State got their momentum back, and then the lead ballooned again. 2 different frustrating games for Wildcat fans. The women's game, much more of a, if you make a couple more shots, or, if you make 1 or 2 shots, this game is a win. And for the men's side, it's if we have some other scoring options and we play.
Ooh, there's a 3 from Jacoby Hetty.
33 seconds left, 11 points, it's possible. In theory.
In theory, yes. If you get every steal and hit every 3. They tapped that one out of bounds. And Damani McIntyre wants to review to see if that last touch Dozier.
In theory, will only take you so far, and the Wildcats will look to test it right here.
And they will go to the monitor to review to see if that last touch Dozier to went out of play. So we've got a chance to talk some shop here at the end of the game. Lots of stuff coming up on the CatEye Network. If you or your business is interested in partnering with us here on the CatEye Network, you can reach out to the Wildcats Athletic Communications Department at BCU Sports Info at Cookman.edu. That's BCU Sports Info at Cookman.edu. That includes every basketball home game this season with myself and Henson. If the Wildcats, either team, make the tournament, we'll go up there and do radio, baseball, and softball coming up. That starts like second week of February. I was surprised how early the baseball season starts this year, that Stonehill College will be down here for that first series.
February 16th, baseball at 6 p.m. at versus Bethune-Cookman University.
Yeah,
Stonehill will be down here at the Jack in Daytona Beach. If you're in the area, it is a wonderful venue to watch a baseball game at. I'd recommend anybody to go down there and watch a baseball game. If you love baseball, even if you don't like baseball that much and you just want something to do, it's an enjoyable experience. Get to sit in the shade, a light breeze while you watch guys throw a ball 80 miles per hour.
Yeah, and of course, the Wildcats, no slouches on the diamond, reigning SWAC runners-up and looking to be a force in the SWAC again.
Yeah, looking to have another good season, and not to say anything about the softball team. They'll look to have a better, improved season this year going into the SWAC tournament and stuff. They have their own myriad of tournaments. They go out of state. They go to California. And, the baseball team invites Northwestern down from Evanston, Illinois, later in the season. It's going to be a very interesting baseball season, softball season. Golf we had on earlier during halftime as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to baseball season. Obviously, I'm biased. I grew up playing baseball. It's my favorite sport to commentate. But, Coach Hernandez always has his team playing well. He's got another fantastic recruiting class. He's tops in the nation in JUCO recruiting almost every year. Recruits South Florida very well. And we'll have his team ready to compete. And, of course, Coach Laura Watton, they have some of the toughest schedules in the business in softball. Go out to the Mary Nutter Classic in California. They'll be at the Stetson Hatter Classic and Jacksonville Classic if you want to catch the Wildcats close to home. And, of course, down south at FAU. They did review it, and it did come off of Damani McIntyre, and that's a 5-second violation. Burnett did not get a timeout, and so it's going to be Wildcat ball anyway.
Ball doesn't lie, I guess. You got 11 points in 33 seconds. So if you get off this inbound, you immediately take a three, make the three, 68-76.
I think it's got to be Deshaun Dyson if it's anybody. 28 or 21 points on the day.
Yeah. And then you have to try to get a steal or force a turnover. And
they're just going to go downstairs. Dyson catch and shoot off the front of the rim. Lots of contact down low. Dozier takes the miss. Wildcats will foul with 22 seconds left.
And a Tiger is down after that the contact towards the end of that possession, going for that rebound. I can't see a number from where we're at. He's kind of laying out right now.
Yeah. Hopefully everything is okay as Dozier goes to the line. Dozier 23 points tonight. Burnett 22. It's been the two big scorers for Grambling State. Smith with 12, Moten 11. 4 players in double figures, and Stevenson with 8. That's it. Just 5 players who have scored today for Grambling State, and that's all they've needed.
Yep, and that's number 4 that's getting up right now. That's Burnett.
Burnett.
Who has 22 this game.
It looked like he got
hit in the eye.
Hit in the eye or in the head when he went to the ground.
Light applause for, the player getting up and stuff. You never want to see injury, especially when a game isn't, it's not necessarily close in the dying embers. You don't want to see, anyone get hurt, seasons messed up, especially when you have someone who's performing as well as he was. 22 points, 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 2 from the 3, 6 of 7 from the line. Everybody on this Grambling State team shot well outside of Smith, who was 50%, which is still good. 4 of 11 for Moten, which is, probably the worst on the team outside of Johnson, who went 0 for 3. Moten went 0 for 3 from the line, beyond the arc, but 3 from 4 from the free throw line. And once again, as you said, only 5 players scoring points for Grambling State, which is the opposite of their female counterparts, where everyone on the 11-woman roster, 10-woman roster.
13 players on the roster. Everybody got in, everybody scored, everybody played over 10 minutes. It was ridiculous.
Hockey line changes, essentially, in basketball.
Hetty, nice little hook shot as he dances through the paint.
And these are just, at this point, really for the personal. You don't want to give up, obviously, and you want to try your hardest till the whistle, but this
14 seconds left, and the Wildcats hack again on Deshaun Dyson. Picks up his second foul, and that will prolong the game once again.
And Aku visibly annoyed that they're still fouling for Grambling State. Confused when Dyson goes and wraps up number 3 there.
Well, that's
Stevenson.
A hallmark of Reggie Theus's teams. They don't stop playing. They will play as if it's a close game. They did it against all the high major teams they played: Mississippi State, Minnesota, UCF.
You play tough. You play to the whistle, and that's what you want to see out of a team. But obviously, you want to see them in a winning situation.
Ward scores. And it's back to a 10-point lead. 6 seconds left. Stevenson trapped. Jump ball. Possession arrow actually favors BCU. So with 1.4 seconds left, they're going to get one more possession.
Get it under double digits is the game plan now.
And honestly, even the 10-point scoring difference is kind of generous to BCU for how this second half has gone. Grambling State shooting over 50% from the floor in the game, 54.3. The Wildcats, 38%. And that's all you need to know about how this one went. Grambling State 79, Bethune-Cookman 69. Here are your final scoring totals. First for Bethune-Cookman, Deshaun Dyson, excellent again, 21 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 steal. Jacoby Hetty, 17 points, 7 boards, 4 assists. Ward, 13 points, Halsey, 5. Willoughby, 4. Carter Hollinger, 4. McIntyre, 3. Henderson, 2. Holsey had 8 rebounds in only 22 minutes. He did not play a factor in most of the second half. For Grambling State, Dozier, a tremendous game, 25. Burnett, 22. Smith, 12. Moten, 11. Stevenson, 9. That's it. Only 5 players scored. Johnson, Aku, Munford, Lewis, and Lamine all played but did not score. And especially Aku, 26 minutes, did not attempt a shot.
6 rebounds, 5 blocks, 3 fouls, 1 turnover. Just playing like Scottie Pippen, really. Just getting boards and blocks, and that's all you need sometimes.
Here are your team stats. Bethune-Cookman out-rebounded Grambling State 35-22 and 16-3 on the offensive glass, but only had 19 second chance points off of those 16 offensive rebounds.
Yeah. We saw multiple possessions where they got 2 to 3 offensive boards and still couldn't score, so obviously that's where that comes from.
17 assists to 15 in favor of BCU, 16 turnovers for the Wildcats, 14 for the Tigers. Fast break points, 11 for both sides. This game was not played in the full court. It was played in the half court for the most of it. 10 steals for Grambling State, only 4 for Bethune-Cookman, a team that averages double-digit steals, only got 4 tonight. Wildcats not at the races defensively. Points off turnovers, 23-12 in favor of Grambling State. 34-30 points in the paint in favor of the Tigers. Second chance points, 19-6. BCU leads in that category. And 19-16 in fouls for Bethune-Cookman committed more fouls. And if you look at the halves breakdown, it's incredibly consistent for Grambling State. 39 points in the first half, 40 in the second half. 36 points in the first half for Bethune-Cookman, 33 in the second half.
And I'd argue that that favors Cookman. I mean, they didn't play. A lot of those points that they scored in that second half were in garbage time, where it was visibly obvious the Grambling State players weren't playing as hard as they've been playing for a majority of the game as they closed out a win here in Moore Gymnasium.
That'll do it from here at Moore Gymnasium. Thank you for sticking with us for a long doubleheader here for Bethune-Cookman Wildcats against Grambling State Tigers. We'll be back on Monday, 5:30 for Bethune-Cookman women's basketball against Southern, and then 7:30 for the men. For CatEye Network Director Eugene Robinson, our producer today, Darian McCaskill, SID's Bryce Wojnowski and Brian Harvey, my analyst is Henson White, and for our entire student-run broadcast team here at the CatEye Network at Moore Gymnasium, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on Monday night.